This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake your body.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out you.
How tied in we are to Detroit, man. They don't know.
They don't know. They're learning today, Sway.
Donald Trump, actually watching his speech and his daughter, you and I were communicating back and forth.
Yes.
And I told you, man, this dude is, doing, I thought he did extremely well.
Yes.
Like he seemed very well versed, like he practiced. He really honed in on what he wanted to focus in on. He focused in on crime. He kind of played on Americans' grievances. He focused in on security, law enforcement. He focused in on foreign policy, our nuclear deal with Iran. He focused in on our safety for our police officers. He didn't mention the victims much. No. Which I thought was bewildering to me.
Yes.
That the victims of police brutality. He didn't mention that much. How do you assess what took place last night?
What took place yesterday was it was a great night if you are a Republican or a Donald Trump supporter. Trump outlined an incredible vision to what his brand is. He's really owning his identity. So the next couple of months, we're going to hear nothing about him being the law and order candidate in terms of how he can protect Americans domestically and internationally as well. As you said before, he doubled down on the police. He made America feel like we are in trouble. He made America feel like we are concerned not only in terms of our safety domestically, but our safety economically, the safety for our children, the safety for our retirement, and our stance on the globe. He presented this notion that we may be weak now around the globe. And so he really dialed in to what a lot of the middle of America is feeling. He really dialed into this fear that a lot of Americans are sensing, but has never had a voice to somebody that can communicate it for that. No politician in history has been that direct with the American public on the issues that are affecting us. So he was willing to stand up and take a stance on that. What I found very interesting was he said two things that you really never hear from a Republican candidate. He really advocated for the LGBTQ community, and that's not something that's normal at a national convention for Republicans. And then also, too, Sway, we always talk about the optics of the convention. The crowd actually applauded. So then he went off script and he said, I want to thank you for acknowledging the importance of that. But then he also went further, Sway, and he didn't talk about the victims of police brutality, but he said something really interesting. He said, when I'm president, I'm in the Oval Office, when I make decisions and laws, I would think about the youth of Baltimore, I would think about the youth of Ferguson, I would think about the youth of Dallas. And so he invoked that he recognized that there is an issue that is taking place in America, and I thought that was very interesting.
These subjects, these topics that you're talking about, is the first time we really heard him address directly like that. Because he said it, do you think the general public believe he's actually invested in doing that? Or was it something you're saying because you got the whole country watching you right now, so you're pandering to certain audiences just to, leave an imprint on their brain?
Yep.
But why would we believe it's genuine and sincere?
That's a really great question, Sway. I mean, that's the reason why he's winning. He's winning because before politicians have put across these policies that's been so deep and detailed and kind of over the head of a lot of Americans, what he's saying is, I'm going to sidestep policy and I'm going to capture the feeling of the American citizens. And that's what people are gravitating to, is that they recognize that although he's a billionaire, he still recognizes the problem of the day-to-day man. And he recognizes the concern of the day-to-day man. And so he's found a way to really tap into that in ways that no other politician can. So we have to suspend our opinions on him, right, and then recognize what he's tapped into.
Okay. His daughter. Oh, go ahead, Tracy.
I was going to say, I saw different polls where it showed 0% of the black community plans on voting for him. I'm going to the polls for him. So I'm just wondering now, as we get to the final steps towards making it to the ballots, if he's really just making a run for the black vote.
He has, I think the citizens will be happy to know that he has appointed Omarosa from The Apprentice as his director of African American engagement. So I'll let that sit there with you and let you guys decide how that is going to be. Yeah, I don't know.
She's black.
Yeah, she's definitely black, and so that's going to construct some type of policy for it. look, they know that the Republicans have a lot of work to do in the African-American community. I don't know if he's really hanging his hat on the black vote.
Okay.
He's really doubling down on – so in politics, we talk about what's called identity politics. So in politics, we always talk about black, white, Hispanic, gay, male, straight. And so he's really doubling down on that white male vote, the white vote. And he's actually tapped into a younger millennial white vote, too, as well, that he's really going to double down on.
Okay.
What do next week? You and I both will be in Philadelphia, going to the Democratic National Convention. What do the Democrats have to do to counter this momentum that he's gained?
Man, Sway, you're on it today. That's a really great question, man.
Well, your mother's standing right there. I don't want. I want her to think that I'm smart. I just want her to think I'm smart. Whether I am or not. Doesn't matter.
She knows your snark, Sway.
Okay.
You know what, Sway? After that speech, I woke up saying Hillary's got some work to do.
Yeah.
He really has Hillary now on defense. So it's good and bad going last, right? In terms of you can go last because you can hear what the other opponents are saying, about you, and you can frame it. But it can also be a position where they can frame it so well that you're put on defense now.
Uh-huh.
So she now has to defend her record on when the whole crowd was chanting "lock her up." She has to defend her record and saying that he said yesterday that she's responsible for Libya, for Egypt, that the blood is on her hands for all the killings that's happened in the Middle East, and also too what's happening domestically. So she now has to go on and counter that while trying to sell her argument to the American people and why she is best to lead. So he's actually put her in a really difficult position because nobody thought that his message would take off as well as it did yesterday and that he would be that on message of his brand. He didn't hear a lot about policy, so that's probably what we're going to hear from the Democrats is that he didn't have a lot of policy. He didn't talk about how he's going to be a law and order candidate. So that was some of the things that if you listen to, he didn't have the details of his proposals.
Thank you, Mike Muse. Michigan, be proud of this native son right here, Mike Muse. That's what y'all working with. That's what you are working with.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike Muse, hang out with us, man. Downtown, we're right here at Bob's Classic Kicks. All of you are invited. If you tuned in, come on down, tell your friends, bring your family. Up next, we got the founder and program director of Downtown Boxing Gym. The one and only Kali Sweeney is here, man. I said it right, man? Okay, there you go. Kali Sweeney is here. That's up next. Sway in the morning, Shade 4 or 5.
Welcome to motherfucking Detroit.